Hello, my friends. Welcome back to Managing Mona's Moolah, or welcome if you're new. I am very happy you're here. This channel is all about budgeting, cash stuffing, savings challenges, and documenting my mortgage payoff journey. I would like to retire early and I don't want to have a mortgage at that time. So come along with me if any of those topics interest you. I welcome you to subscribe, like, and share my channel. Today I have a budget with me. It is a magic month and I have paycheck number 2 out of 3 to budget. So let's get this party started. How is everyone in March? Tomorrow is St. Patty's Day. So this is exciting for me to budget paychecks when it's a magic month. I get to save more money, and that means I'm going to get to stucco my home in the fall. That's a goal of mine. And so budgeting helps me to achieve those financial goals that I set for myself. Now, this is the Budget by Paycheck workbook, but you don't need a workbook like this to budget every 2 weeks. I would just pull out one of my favorite notebooks, and I might just go back to doing that in 2025. This is one of my favorite workbooks that I picked up at the store. And this would be perfect for budgeting. It has lined paper. I can take this with me when I travel or when I need to pack it up in my backpack. So I like this. It's one of my favorite workbooks. So this is my workbook that I'm currently using for this calendar year. And I find it very, very helpful to keep me on track. But again, you don't need this kind of workbook. You can use a simple lined notebook and that gets the job done. So I'm going to turn to March. This is my layout for March. I have all of my bills that are due. And I can see that this is the paycheck of March 15th. There is a manicure that I need to pay for. I have my home security bill, and this was already paid for. So only bill that I need to budget for is my home security. My next payday is March 29th. And what's really nice about a magic month is that I have one more paycheck after this one that I get to budget my mortgage payment from. We get an extra paycheck. So this one here virtually doesn't have any bills tied to it, just the home security bill. Okay, so this March paycheck budget tracker, the paycheck date is March 15, 2024. And this covers March 15 through March 28. Okay. So I always have that carryover that I need to acknowledge. So that carryover, it was not as I intended it to be. I was originally planning for $86.70. I spent some of that, and now it is $36.70. This is paycheck number 2. of 3. And that paycheck amount is $25, $85, $32. And that is all of the anticipated income that I have. So I'm going to add these two values together so I can get my total inflow. $36.70 plus $25.85, $32 gives me $2,622.02. Here is a cheers to you, my friends. I'm enjoying some coffee. All right, the only bill I have is my home security bill. And that is due March 18. And that is $66.48. Okay. So that is the only bill. I'm going to bring that dollar value to my fixed expenses total, which is $66.48. All right. So what I'm going to do now is subtract $66.48 from my inflow total. And that leaves $2,555.54, which I'm going to bring down to my variable expenses section. Okay. So the first item is my allowance. And I work hard for my money and I like to spend a little bit here and there. I give myself $50 a week. Next is my groceries and my fast food. I budget $150 every 2 weeks. Next is my fur kids. These are my pets. And I'm budgeting $50 for them. I also donate to some of my favorite charities, and that is my giving. And I take $20 and set that aside. Miscellaneous, in case I missed anything, that's getting $20 as well. Finally, my car juice is last. And I am budgeting $25 for my car juice. Those are my typical variable expenses. You can adjust these according to your own budget. So I'm going to add these together. $100 for my allowance, $150 for groceries and food, $50 for my fur kids, $20 for giving, $20 for miscellaneous, and $25 for car juice. And that gives me a variable expenses total of $365 And I'm going to subtract that from $2,555.54. That is going to give me $2,190.54. And I'm going to bring that to my sinking funds section. Okay. I have 3 of them that I normally plan for. The first is my car maintenance and car insurance. That gets $50. Next is my gifts. This is for birthdays and special holidays. I am going to reserve $50. I have 2 birthdays to celebrate for 2 of my loved ones next week. So, and finally, I am going to reserve for health and beauty. And I'm going to budget $50 here for a total of $150. So I'm going to take that from the leftover up here. That leaves a leftover of $2,040.54. So here's where I get to the extra debt section. Now, I do have my mortgage loan. That is the only debt that I have. So I'm going to reserve an extra principal payment to pay off my home mortgage loan that much quicker. I was looking at the calendar and doing some rough calculations, and I hope to pay it off by December 2026. So that's my goal. I'm going to have to hustle and save money whenever I can so that I can reach that goal. But that is my goal. So I'm going to pay extra to mortgage principal. And I am budgeting $568 from this paycheck. And also, when I went to Texas last weekend, I had a phenomenal time at the concert. Well, we went shopping and I overdid it. Taking my credit card and having a credit card is too much of a temptation for me sometimes. So when I charge on my credit card, I need to pay it back. I don't like to have balances on my credit card. And I'm going to make a credit card payment to pay this off. No judging, right? No judging. So $638.70. I know that's a lot. Whenever I use my credit card, it means I don't get to save that much. But it is what it is, right? We all sometimes we get ourselves in this and we have to get ourselves out. So that is what I have for debt payment this time. $568 plus $638.70, and that will pay that credit card in full. So that means my extra debt total is $1,206.70. The only like a positive upside to this is that I get points on my Visa, so I get to redeem those for gift cards at the end of the year. So I do pay some utilities, I do pay some gas, and I get that in points, and I can redeem them for free gift cards. So that is a positive, if I want to look at it that way, right? Okay, so I have $2,040.54 minus $1,206.70 in debt. So that leaves a leftover of $833.84. All right, so I do not like to leave money in my checking account because this account does not earn any interest. So I scoop money out into my savings account whenever I get a chance, and that will go for my house restucco job that I will get done later in the calendar year. So I'm going to transfer to my savings account, and this time I'm going to transfer $600. I also have my Let It Bloom Savings Challenge. And I'm going to budget $200 here. I have another savings challenge, my 100 envelope savings challenge. I have not budgeted anything. I have not sold anything on Facebook Marketplace or any of those other apps. So usually when I get extra money, I'll stuff it into my 100 envelope savings challenge. But I'm really focused on finishing this savings challenge. This has been hanging around for about a year now. So I'd like to get this completed as well. The Jar of Hearts is already done, so I'm going to apply that to my mortgage principal at a later date. So stand by for that. And I'm also going to leave a buffer cushion in this checking account. I never draw my account down to zero. So let's see what that buffer cushion is going to be. So I have $833.84, and I'm going to transfer $600 to my savings, $200 to my Let It Bloom Savings Challenge. So the buffer cushion in my checking account will be $33.84. So I'm going to add these three items together to get my extra savings total. And that'll be $833.84. And if I subtract that from the leftover up here, I do indeed get a zero-based budget. This box right here is a prompt for me to check my math. Okay, so let's check my math. My carryover is $36.70, and my paycheck is $25.85.32. So that gives me an inflow total of $2,622.02. Let's subtract my home security bill, $25.55.54 remains. Then I'm going to subtract my variable expenses, leaves a leftover of $2,190.54. My sinking funds for $150. My extra debt payments, leaves a balance of $833.84. Then my savings, and that does give me a zero-based budget. All right, well, that's the paycheck budget for the next 2 weeks. Yes, I realize I should not have spent so much on my credit card, but it is what it is. It just means that I don't get to save as much for my financial goals. So that's it for now. Thank you so much for spending a little bit of your time with me today. I really appreciate it. Let me know how your budgeting is going. Drop a comment. I'd love to interact with all of you. Have a beautiful day or night wherever you're at. I wish you peace. Have a wonderful St. Patty's Day tomorrow. I will see you next time.